Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Douglas Attila Kamali, the infamous Doctor Who. Okay, so I'm going to cover a couple of things today, and one of them is that I started this all out with challenging the U.S. military that our system was compromised, the military system was compromised. And so with that, I challenged the U.S. military and Top Gun, and they ignored me. So that went above their head, right? And so in that, I was made a challenge that I could steal one of their birds and get away with it. They said, they basically said they accept the challenge, right? So the challenge there was, the general said, what, General? What was that you said? There's no airport in America in which that man can land one of our birds in which we won't catch him. So I took on the challenge. Imagine. Okay, so with that, I stole an F-22, an undisclosed airport, in which I then flew and got kind of stuck with that. And that they said, "Here's your landing." I said, "You're shitting me." So out at sea there was an helicopter boat. In which that's where you're going to land. Like, so I'm on dead stick, right? Empty of fuel, and I'm coming in, and so I pull it off. I land the jet on the helicopter pad and the ship out on sea and going into a 45 knot headwind. So the captain goes, "What the fuck was that?" It comes out, and there's an F-22 on his pad with a broken left strut. Right, and the canopy open, and may I remind you, in that kind of wind, right, you can only open the canopy of an F-22 on the inside. There's no way you could put it out there without that canopy ripped off. So if you look at the second in command of that boat, he looks very similar to me, and I was provided with his officer uniform, right, so that I could go down the galley and claim I'm watching the galley and you find me that pilot, screaming at them, and then went to sleep in his bunk. And every time someone came in, "Did you find the pilot?" No, right? So we finally make it into port. And mind you, that's after I went down the galley and made myself some food. So we got footage of me coming off the gangplank of that boat. Before I'm out there, I was second in command, and I made it back to here. So with that, they still didn't accept that I said that. So I went one level above that and took over the Abe Lincoln. So what I did there was those guys had taken control of the ship, the Abe Lincoln, and I took all of America's best birds and put them on the deck. I'm the pilot. Put all those birds there because they have no pilots. So once I did that, then I proceeded to throw all of the crew, 3/4 of the crew, overboard to be picked up behind us, and if they were Satan minions, they just drowned. Anyways, so the crew was told, "You know who these guys are, right? They're the real assholes, and this guy's trying to do it, and he's the one man who declared war on the country. So if you believe him, just don't interfere, because we're supposed to protect him, but we're not." So I proceeded to throw 3/4 of the crew off the deck into the fucking water, and the rest surrendered. And I took over the Abraham Lincoln with all the birds on it. And to top that off, I went to the Nimitz, and the commander of the three there found me inside of the there, and I said, "I'm the one man that's declared war on this country. I'm taking over the ship." And they kind of said, "What?" I said, "I'm one man. Just one man that's declared. I'm sure this whole thing's compromised." So instead of me shooting you here and taking over the ship and selling it to the Chinese, well, I got a better idea, right? So I took the clip out of the gun and I said, "Listen, if I can take this ship over, will you admit that it's compromised?" They said, "Yeah, if you take over the ship single-handedly, we deserve to be shot." So there it is. I took over the Nimitz and put all the birds on the deck. So once again, that's what I've been doing, and I thought I'd bring that forth to all you guys. Once again, my name is Douglas Attila Kamali, America's best trained military officer. What one man, trained by the U.S. military, can do.